YouTube family, it's me again with another gripe, of course. I'm like the gripiest person on earth. But today, this one is a little lock gripe about people not knowing their texture. I know that sounds crazy, but there's been kind of a surge. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been kind of a surge in locking, especially with sister locking getting very popular. I notice a lot of sisters are, opting to get locks, which is awesome. I commend you on that. Going natural is something that's really beautiful, and it's really fulfilling, and it's very rewarding. One, because you could just do anything. You can work out, you can go in the rain, you can do whatever, but also it's really rewarding because you're natural. You got your own self. You don't have to worry about, faking it no more. But one thing I've noticed, and a lot of people have come up to me and asked me, are those locks? Do you lock? And yes, I do, and I'm more than willing to answer plenty of questions. I ask a lot of questions too still. Tied my locks for almost a year and I still ask plenty of questions. But one thing is a lot of women don't know their texture. Sister locking and braid locking, like what I have, is a tool that's helping people lock their hair straight from a perm, which is cool. But if I were you and I was giving you any advice, I would tell you do not lock your hair straight from a perm. I say that because so many women lock and don't even know what their hair texture is, and they end up cutting their hair off prematurely, one, because they want to know what their texture is and they're comfortable being natural now, and but two, a lot of people think the hair is going to look like Tracy Ellis Ross, with big curls, mixed curl type of hair or something like that, a different type of grade of hair, maybe silkier, maybe something like that. And, well, it's actually not mixed girl hair, because I know black girls have hair like that, but that's beyond the point. But it's just something that I wish more sisters would encourage themselves to find out about before they went into locking, because locking is wonderful. I love it. But you definitely need to have a little grace period of knowing what your hair is like, because it'll be very hard to leave the locks. And also, I hear comments like, oh, my afro is growing in, so I have to redo my hair. And your hair is an afro regardless, my hair is just a little done afro almost. It's still an afro. You still see on the sides, it'll get all poofy, and when it grows out, I just tightened my hair probably last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. But when I do my hair, it's still hella nappy. That's not going to change. And I think people's attitudes towards getting locks is they think it's acceptable, which I hate to say it, but it is more accepted than loose hair, even though I don't like that aspect of it. It is the reality. But I think it's more so from people who are a little more ignorant towards natural hair. They think that that's a better alternative because it hangs down straight. You can do it a little more like a relaxer. And I really think it helps you set your mind state up so you aren't in that ignorant state of, oh yeah, locks are more acceptable. I want to get locks because they're more acceptable. Because your hair is going to be natural regardless. And I think it's really important for people not to have that ignorant mind state of like, oh, I want my hair to be in the good natural or whatever. I think is really silly that people think that. But just definitely keep that in mind when you're thinking about locking. Definitely know your texture. Know what your hair looks like when it grows out of your head. And I'm not talking about texturizers or relaxers or any of that. I'm talking about it growing out of your head and being the way it is. How does your hair look? I know I have a 4A, 4B. There's a list of different hair textures that, us sisters have. And I think 1A is loose, curly, kind of, silkier hair. 2A and 2B is the waves, pretty much. 3A and B is, curls. They go from the little ringlety type curls to the tighter, almost afro-y type curls, but they're still curls. And I'm 4A, which is nappy. It means you have a curl and your hair makes an afro out of that curl, but it's just not very loose, and it's harder to define. So, I'm 4A, 4B, nappy, and nappier. And, I appreciate that. And because I've been natural, just natural, no locks, none of that, have my locks for a year. I've been natural for 10, almost 11 years. I was in 7th grade. I'm 23, excuse me. So a long time, you know, and I really got to experience my texture and all the different transitions that come with it. And I think that's very important. People forget that, but it's very, very important because, you know, once you leave locks or once you get tired of your locks, you know, hopefully the goal is that you know, still are avoiding perm. And if you don't know your texture, you might get, you know, kind of discouraged or overwhelmed, and you'll go right back to the relaxer, and that's almost pointless, you know? It's not pointless. If that's your choice, that's your choice. You know, I'm all about people doing them, but it definitely is kind of weird, you know, so definitely think about it. I know me, I'll never go back to a relaxer. I've said this in a couple of the videos, but I never will. That's just not an option for me, ever. And I hope that other sisters who will go natural via, you know, perm or whatever, really make sure that they know that. And just, yeah, keep that in mind. Keep in mind that you need to know what your hair looks like before. I mean, that's my rule. My rule of thumb to anybody who asks me, oh yeah, Chloe, what's your advice? I say, have you ever had your hair natural? If they say no and they're still permed or they're growing their perm out, I say either grow that perm out however you're doing it, you know, with your two-strand twists or your curls or your big chop, and wear your hair natural. Know what your hair looks like, because you're really cheating yourself if you think you're natural and you have your hair locked and you've never seen your own natural hair. It's silly. And it's not to say that this isn't your natural hair. It is, but it is a style of natural hair. You know, it's like a subsidiary of natural hair. So just keep that in mind. And it's not to say that it's a bad subsidiary. It's a wonderful subsidiary. You know, I was natural. I had my big afro for probably 5-6 years. And I would never take those years back. You know, I plan on adding years to that, you know, eventually. Once I'm done with these, I'll probably get, you know, bigger locks and, you know, go natural for a while. Well, not natural, I'm natural regardless. But go loose and go big and go in and out and just do everything. I've never had a teeny bitty afro, so that's my next goal. But, yeah, just keep that in mind. I'm starting to go on a tangent, so I'm going to let y'all go. But keep that in mind. Think about your texture and really understand the complexities and beauty of who you are for real. Love ya. Peace. You guys are worth it.